Welcome back, guys. This is continuations of Indian polity multiple choice questions and answer session. So in this video we'll try to understand some more multiple choice questions related to fundamental rights. What was the first occasion when the Supreme Court propounded the doctrine of basic structures, right? In which case Supreme Court realized the doctrine, the basic structure of constitution should not be altered or should not be changed. In the Keswananda Bharti case, in the Minerva Mills case, in the IR Khole case, none of the above. The answer is A in the Keswananda Bharti case. Second questions. How many laws are currently included in the ninth schedule? Option A 13, options B 25, option C 282, options D none of the above. So how many included in the ninth schedule? Let's see the answer. 282. Which article provides that no law that seeks to implement the socialistic directive principle shall be void on the ground of contraventions of fundamental rights, right? So if any of the law which violates the fundamental rights shall be made void. Options A Article 31A, B Article 31B, option C Article 31C, options D none of the above. You can take a pause and you can think of this answer. Answers Article 31C. Next questions. Which provision of Article 31C was held unconstitutional and invalid by the Supreme Court? Options A first provisions, options B second provisions, option C both A and B, options D none of the above. So which provision of Article 31C was held unconstitutional and invalid by the Supreme Court? Let's check out the answer. Second provision. Which amendment extended the scope of first provision of Article 31C to include any law to implement any of the directive principles specified in Part 4 of the Constitutions and not just in Articles 39B or C. Which amendment? Look at the options. Options A 25th Amendment, options B 14th Amendment, option C 44 Amendment, options D none of the above. So think on these answers. Which amendment extended the scope of first provision of Article 31C to include any law to implement any of the directive principles specified in Part 4 of the Constitutions? It was which amendment? 42nd Amendment. Next questions. Which case declared the extensions of first provisions of Articles 31C as unconstitutional? Which case declared the extensions of first provisions of Article 31C was unconstitutional and invalid? Keswananda Bharti case, Minerva Mills case, IR Khole case, none of the above. Let's think of the answer. Minerva Mills case. What is the first criticisms of fundamental rights? So there are a lot of criticisms on the fundamental side, but what is the first criticisms? They are subjected to innumerable exceptions, restrictions, qualifications and explanations, right? So they are subjected to innumerable exceptions. They have a lot of exceptions, they have a lot of restrictions and lot of qualifications and explanations. Second, options B, the list is not comprehensive and does not include important social and economical rights. That was the second criticism on the fundamental right. The third was, sorry, this is not a second, this is options B. Option C, they are stated in a vague, indefinite and ambiguous. It's like very big. No one could understand. Any normal people cannot understand. None of the above. So what is the answer here? Options A. They are subjected to innumerable exceptions, restrictions, qualifications, and explanations. Look at the second questions. What is the second criticism of fundamental rights? So, as I said, right, there is a multiple criticisms. So, what is the second criticism? The list is not comprehensive and does not include important social and economical rights. Okay. Options B. They are stated in a vague, indefinite, and ambiguous. Right. Option C. They are not sacrosanct or immutable. They are not holy. They are not pure. They are not or immutable or can be curtailed or abolished by the parliament. Like it could be altered by the parliament. Options D, none of the above. So what is the second criticism? Options A, the list is not comprehensive and does not include important social and economical rights. What is the third criticism of fundamental rights? They are stated in vague, indefinite, and ambiguous manners. Options B, they are not sacrosanct, right? Which means they are not pure or immutable or can be curtailed or abolished, खत्म किया जा सकता है by the parliament. They are not clearly defined and the language used to describe them is very complicated beyond the comprehensions of the common man. See this even I believe, right? So though it is our fundamental rights, but I don't know even 1% of the people could correlate. Okay, so it's very hard to understand. None of the above. So what is the third criticism? Third was they are not clearly defined and the language used to describe them is very complicated beyond the comprehensions of the common man. What is the fourth criticism of fundamental rights? They are subjected to innumerable exceptions, restrictions, qualifications, and explanations. Right? The list is not comprehensive and does not include important social and economical rights. They are not sacrosanct or immutable or can be curtailed or abolished by the parliament, none of the above. So what is the fourth criticism? See, they are not sacrosanct or immutable or can be curtailed or abolished by the parliament. Fifth criticism of fundamental rights. They are not sacrosanct, not pure, and it's not immutable, can be curtailed, abolished. Judiciary cannot enforce them during a national emergency. Options B. Judiciary cannot enforce them during national emergency. They benefit mainly the rich section of the Indian society because the judicial process is very expensive. Yes, everyone agree to this. Options D, none of the above. But what is the fifth criticism? Options B. The judiciary cannot enforce them during national emergency. When there is a national emergency, your fundamental rights are gone. What is the sixth criticism of fundamental rights? The judiciary cannot enforce them during national emergency. Options A. Options B. The benefit mainly the rich sections of the Indian society because the judicial process is very expensive. इतना महंगा है कि ज़्यादा कुछ कर नहीं पाओगे आप. ठीक है. The provision of prevention detention takes away the spirit of substance of the chapter on fundamental rights. जो हमारी है ना provision of prevention detention, it takes away basically the spirit of fundamental rights. None of the above. What is the sixth criticism? But these are the options, right? The answer is B. The benefit mainly the rich section of the Indian society because the judicial process is too expensive. What is the seventh criticism of fundamental rights? सातवां कौन सा था criticism? They are stated in a vague, indefinite, and ambiguous manner. They are not sacrosanct, immutable, can be curtailed, abolished. The provisions for prevention and detention takes away the spirit of substance of chapter on fundamental rights. None of the above. What is the answer? Let's see the answer. Answer is C. The provision of prevention and detention takes away the spirit of substance of the chapter on fundamental rights. What is the eighth criticism of fundamental rights? आठवां criticism कौन सा है? They are stated in vague, indefinite, ambiguous. The list is not comprehensive and does not include important social and economical rights. Okay, they are not based on any consistent philosophy and are difficult to interpret. There is no certain philosophy because we have gone through, analyzed 32 more than 30 countries, constitutions, and we have come up. So it's not consistent philosophy, difficult to interpret, none of the above. So what is the eighth fundamental rights? They're not based on any consistent philosophy and are difficult to interpret. So guys, this all criticism, right? What I would suggest you go through once and again you try to go through one more time. Take a pause, try to choose the right answers, because I literally took a time. I scanned through the books and I have come up with this multiple choice questions and answers. What did Jaspat Roy Kapoor say about the chapter dealing with fundamental rights? Okay, it should be renamed as Limitations of Fundamental Right. Options B, it should be renamed as Fundamental Rights and Limitations Thereon. Okay, it should be remained as the right of the state against the individual. None of the above. The answer is B. As per him, it should be renamed as Fundamental Rights and Limitations Thereon. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching this. Hope you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel so that if I upload any content you will get a notifications, because I took a really, I spent a lot of time to make this multiple choice questions, because I make sure that if you follow my playlist and if you go through entire videos, you don't need to again study the book, because I cover each and every line as a multiple choice questions and answers. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this.